I want to show a quick appreciation to what I think is the greatest tool you could have in your RC arsenal. Check this out. This is the greatest soldering iron in my experience, made by Team Powers. Never heard of them myself until the day I bought it. So check this out. First off, when you buy it, it comes in this neat little fitted case, right? Some foam here, you can take it out. I got some extra bits of storage here, zipper of course. Check this out. So it only runs DC. There is no 110, so there's no big heavy transformer. That means this thing can run off of a power supply or a LiPo up to 18 volts, right? 2S up to 4S. That makes it portable, that makes it powerful because it's DC and you don't have to worry about the AC transformers. I'll show you my voltages here. We got a 4S 5500 Gens Ace, 15.2 volts, 3.8 roughly per cell. And check it out, when you get it, this is the handle, right? It plugs in here. And you put your soldering tip in here. And if we get some detail, carbon and anodized aluminum, it's very, very pretty. This is a very pretty tool, right? This is the base and it swivels and you can, move it however you want. So this is the tip. The tips are replaceable and all you do is you just slide it in and out. Now I'm doing this one-handed, so let me get a grip here. So it goes in this way. This is the connector terminals. Slides in there. And you just push it all the way down. And when you want to remove it, you just slide it out. Simple as that. Of course, do it when it's cool. That being said, this is cool to the touch, room temperature. So you screw it down here when you're not using it, transporting it, whatever, or even simply carrying it, right? You can do one of those, move it however you like. So the way it connects is it comes with this wire. Red on red, black on black, of course. Red to red, black to black. And you connect the other end to the end there. Simple enough. And when you want to fire it up, you simply hit the button. Now, before we do that, first let me just loosen this up to get it ready. That way I don't have to unscrew it a bunch when I'm ready to use it. Untangle it a little bit. I just like to rest it in there without threading it while I'm using it. So it's got a little LED in there, hiding in there. And it's also got a adjustment screw hiding in there. It's kind of hard to see. And the manual has been translated a million times over, so understanding the manual is a little tricky. But there is a Phillips head adjuster in there. I've never messed with it. I left the stock setting. I'm just going to assume that they're all the same setting when you get it. But anyway, so I got mine running on a 4S. And real quick, when this thing starts flashing, it lights up orange when it's warming up, and then it flashes green-orange when it's up to temp. So let's test how long it takes to get up to temp. So we're going to fire it up right now. 2 minutes, 54 seconds recording. Where's our light? There it is. Let me get my materials ready. I'm gonna leave the camera angle there. Got some solder here. Got a little soldering jig. We can do some tests. So we're 3 minutes, 12 seconds. We're waiting for it to flash. Look at that, it's flashing. I mean, it's up to temp. We're at 3 minutes, 20 seconds recording. What's that, about 30 seconds? So I got my jig here. We'll put the wire in there. Let me use my little phone stand here. I'm gonna put you right there. Solder I'm using is Alpha Fry? I don't know, I'm pretty sure it's 6040. Yeah, 6040. Whatever solder, it doesn't matter. So we get our iron, right? You just unscrew it from the base. Already up to temp. Look at that. Excellent. 150 watts. Claimed anyway. Claimed 150 watts. Look at that. It didn't even flinch. Let's put that connector back on there. All right, let it cool off a little bit. I know it's not the most glamorous video in the world, but I just wanted to take a minute to show off my favorite tool in my RC collection. This tool rules. Let me grab you back off of my phone stand. Team Powers. This thing is rad. Obviously, you got your power supply there. I got an IC5 plug on it. It comes with all the connectors, but I modified mine to make it work for my use case. Put the IC5 on there, no big deal. But yeah, runs 18 volts. But anyway, yes, simply turn it off, do one of these, right? And while we're here, actually, what I like to do to maintain the health and well-being of my soldering tips, once I turn it off, just get a wire brush, clean the tip off. Simple as that. Throw it back in there, and then you put it away for, future use. You can disassemble it however you like, pack it up in your phone case, transport it with a battery. Runtime on a battery of this size, honestly, I haven't charged this battery in probably a week. I started using it with my soldering iron at about 3.95, 4.0 volts per cell. Probably got, it's got to be at least an hour's worth of power on time, right? And I'm at what, 15.1 volts, 3.78 per cell. So it lasts a pretty fair amount of time, honestly. I'm real happy with it. And if you run a power supply through it, you can actually, depending on your power supply, you can measure your amp draw. And what's really neat about this is I actually used my Electron Pro AC/DC 50 watt, which has a power supply mode, and it'll show you real time the amp draw. And I'm not entirely sure if I believe the 150 watts because it doesn't maintain 150 watts constant. It'll actually pull about 4 or 5 amps at 14 volts, or up to 50 watts, right, on my power supply, until it gets hot. And then it maintains maybe like half of 1 amp at 18 volts to maintain temp. But as soon as you start working with it on your wires and your plugs, obviously it's going to start drawing more power. So my power supply is only 50 watts, but this thing claims to be 150. So if you wanted to run a power supply, just make sure you have a high wattage power supply, or just get yourself a big fat LiPo. Honestly, I love this setup. This setup rules. It's the best money I ever spent. And yes, it is expensive. It's 150 bucks wherever I got it. And I got it from NorCal Hobbies in San Jose. But honestly, for 150 bucks and as durable as it is, as powerful as it is, especially with QS8 and 8 gauge wire, it makes no effort of it at all, right? It is the best iron ever. I love this thing. I just wanted to give a quick shout out to this iron.